The first big Saturday of college football is almost upon us, and we've got lines that are moving. Before you get your bets in, you're going to want to know who to sell high on and who to buy low on. There's a 12-2 ATS trend you're going to want to jot down, and to top things off, you get a free winner for Saturday. Welcome to the Power 5 for Week 1 of the college football season, and let's get right into how the market is moving. Obviously, there has been a ton of line movement on these games since lines first became available over the summer. So what I'm going to do right now, take a look at the WagerTalk.com odds screen and share some moves that interest me. We'll start with the Texas State Baylor total, which had climbed all the way to 63 before getting bet back down to 59. That number opened 56.5. So if you've already gotten involved, you've got a shot at a decent middle here. Looking at some spreads, Purdue down to -3.5 at home versus Fresno State, despite the Bulldogs no longer having quarterback Jake Haener. Wisconsin and its new look offense under Phil Longo out to a 4-touchdown favorite over Buffalo. Sam Houston State makes its FBS debut late night at BYU. Bettors are liking the Bearcats. That's Bearcats with a K for those keeping score at home. That number's moved from 23 to +19. Remember, the other new FBS team, Jacksonville State, just won its debut last week against UTEP. Colorado State is down to +10 at home against Washington State as of Friday afternoon. I broke that game down earlier this week on WagerTalk TV. And SMU up to -20 against Louisiana Tech, who was a popular choice last week but failed to cover as a double-digit favorite against FIU. What line move interests you? Go ahead and let us know in the comments section here on YouTube. Selling high? Now let's take a look at Army here, who is up to a 9-point favorite at Louisiana Monroe for a 7 p.m. Eastern kickoff Saturday night. On the previous edition of the Power 5, I mentioned how road favorites tend to struggle in Week 1. Well, sure enough, Army 0-6 against the number the last 6 times they've been a Week 1 road favorite. Also, let's not forget how the Cadets started last season. They failed to cover the number in their first 6 games. Now, given we're talking about Army, no surprise they have the edge in the trenches against Louisiana Monroe. They've run for over 900 yards the last 2 meetings, which took place in 2020 and 2022. But note, last season, when these teams met, Louisiana Monroe had a 10-point lead in the first half. Rule changes could be working against Army this year because not only is the clock not stopping on a first down, except the final 2 minutes of each half, that could hurt Army's ability to win by any kind of margin here, but they'll be changing up their offensive scheme just a bit due to some outlawing of certain blocking tactics. So it'll be interesting to see how they're obviously going to run the ball a lot still, but there are some scheme changes for Army. Monroe 5-2 against the number their last 7 tries as a home dog, 12-3 the last 15 years straight up in home openers. I think Terry Bowden may have his Warhawks ready to go here. I would recommend waiting to see if this number hits 10 and then firing with the home dog. Buy low. Liberty opened as a double-digit favorite, but now they're down to as low as -8.5 at some shops. I'm not sure if I understand that for this noon Eastern time kickoff against Bowling Green. Bowling Green is just not very good offensively. Their O-line really struggled last year. We're talking about one of the worst teams in the MAC. Liberty, they've got a new head coach in Jamie Chadwell who comes over from Coastal Carolina where he had a ton of success the last few years. He's going to be looking to make a statement in his first game at the helm. If this line dips any lower, I think you might want to consider laying the points with the Flames in this one. Who are you selling high? Who are you buying low on for Week 1 in college football? Again, let us know in the comments section. I'll be sure to respond. And don't be shy about letting us know what your best bet is for Saturday as well. Stat of the day. Let's move to this segment here. Last episode was all about the road favorites. Now it's all about home dogs. College football home underdogs who return 17 or more starters are 43-16-1 against the number since 1990, provided they won at least 3 games the previous season. That 43-16-1 ATS mark includes 12-2 when the home dog is getting 12 or more points at the betting window. So jot this one down. It applies to a certain game on Monday. You can figure out which one because there's only one game on Monday. And just like yesterday, I want to thank the Mark Lawrence Playbook stat for today's stat of the day. Okay, before we get to the power play of the day, just a reminder, go ahead, smash that like button if you like what you're hearing. Give this show a thumbs up. And make sure you are subscribed to the WagerTalk YouTube channel, where there's a ton of great sports betting content each and every single day. A ton of game previews are currently up, including UCLA, Coastal Carolina, and Clemson Duke from yours truly. All right, on to the power play of the day. It is South Florida at Western Kentucky, 3:30 Eastern time. This game is going to be off a lot of people's radars, but here's why it should be on yours. USF is ultimately likely to improve in the first year under Alex Golesh, who previously served as the offensive coordinator under Josh Heupel at Tennessee. But we're talking about a first-time head coach taking over a program that has just 4 wins to its name over the last 3 seasons, and 3 of those came against FCS teams. We don't know who the Bulls' starting quarterback is going to be on Saturday. Meanwhile, we know Austin Reed will be under center for Western Kentucky, and he's coming off a season in which he led the country with 4,700 yards passing and 40 touchdowns. USF's defense ranked 130th in scoring last year and was 124th against the pass. That sounds like a problem to me in this matchup, especially since WKU has added a couple stud receivers via the transfer portal from the SEC. I think you can look for the Hilltoppers to run away with this one at home. I say lay it. Western Kentucky is your power play of the day, and that does it for the Power 5 for Week 1 of college football. Let's all go cash some tickets. Have a great weekend.